The first reading is from Genesis 12, 1 through 9. The Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and the ones who curses you I will curse, and in all your families of the earth shall be blessed." So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old, and when he departed from Haran, Abram took his wife Sarah and his brother's son Lot, and all the possessions that they had gathered, and the persons whom they had acquired in Haran, and they set forth to go to the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the place called at Shechem, to the oak of Morah. At the time the Canaanites were in the land, the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built there an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he moved on to the hill country to the east of Bethel and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east, and there he built an altar to the Lord and invoked the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed on by stages toward the Negeb. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Over the next 4 weeks, we'll be focusing on a series of stories from Genesis about Abram's life. We'll see here on the screen several pictures from an illustrated Bible from the 1866 by Gustave Doré. And he puts these illustrations in the Bible, and these 5 here show different stages that we'll cover and hear about in Abram's journey. And what will hopefully become clear to us is that the promises made by God to Abram are also promises made to us and for us. What starts out as one point of time and one person broadens out wider to the nation of Israel, to the incarnation of Jesus, and to all of humanity. And so as we look specifically at Abram's call this morning, what we are struck by is the challenge and opportunity of living into reality that is not yet present. God says, "I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you. In all of the families of the earth shall be blessed. To your offspring I will give this land." God says, I will. I will do these things. But for Abram, they are not yet. Genesis 12, where we pick up this morning, continues the story of God's work in creation. But the tone has shifted a bit from the introductory stories in the first 11 chapters. Those first 11 chapters of Genesis, we have heard of the world created, the first sin, eviction from Eden, the first murder, the wickedness of humans that leads to the great flood and the Tower of Babel being built, leading to confusion of language and people being scattered over the face of the earth. The stories of creation and the world have been that of growth and of change. Nations are being born, descendants and families spreading over great areas. And then suddenly in chapter 12, we turn from this vast narrative and we turn to one family and one man, Abram, and his wife, Sarai. All we know of them at this point is that Abram's father took the family from the land of Ur to the land of Canaan, and that Sarai is barren. She had no child. This is a family that is in a land new to them, and there are no descendants. And it's into this situation that Abram hears the Lord. And it is a call to go again. Go from the family, from this land that you have now settled in, and go to a place that I haven't even given you the name of yet. Go and wander, and I will change all that is expected. To the couple with no children, God says, I will make you a great nation. All these promises live in the future. And yet Abram does go. He sets forth for a new land, and upon reaching Canaan, he builds an altar to the Lord, not as a mark of the end of his journey, but as a sign of what had been promised to his offspring. Abram sets roots in a place and a situation that is anticipated, but is not yet present. After the service this morning, a group of us will meet for our final Bible study session of the Apostles' Creed. And we've treated it, Danny and I, like a bit of an adult confirmation class, asking the questions that we all wonder about, struggling with what it means about Jesus' descent to the dead, and why some of us say we believe in the Holy Catholic Church and others have grown up saying we believe in the Holy Christian Church. And for those who have been through confirmation, it's a chance to look at these topics again with fresh eyes. But we also have in the group some who never went through confirmation. And for them, it's a chance for the first time, potentially, to go through the creed. And if we think back to 10 weeks ago, when we confirmed 5 youth in this congregation, we had 5 young people who affirmed their faith, but more importantly, affirmed their belief that God was working in them and that this work will continue. Confirmation in our church marks a passage in life much like Abram's journey of faith. God calls us, and we journey forward saying yes, even though we don't yet see the end. Our journey as Christians does not end on that day that our sponsors say yes in our baptism. It does not end when we say yes to our confirmation questions. It does not end when the congregation says yes that we will support you. These moments, though, these times of saying yes, are like when Abram sets up an altar in Canaan. A moment of time in a specific place where we make a firm acknowledgement that God is with us and carrying us on what is a journey. A journey that is always reminded of a promised future that is not yet made whole. And our gospel reading today offers another vision of what it looks like to live into the promised future. We are told that Jesus sat at dinner with his disciples and many tax collectors and sinners. The Pharisees asked, why does he do this? Why does he sit with this group of people? And Jesus responds, those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. We then hear of 2 healings of those who are sick. First, a woman who had been hemorrhaging blood for 12 years reaches through the crowd to touch the fringe of Jesus' cloak. Jesus sees her and says that her faith has made her well. And she was well from that moment. And following this interaction, Jesus enters the house of a leader whose daughter has died. In the house are musicians and crowds making a commotion in their grief. And Jesus says, this girl is not dead, but sleeping. They laugh at him, but he takes the girl by the hand, and she got up. Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. And in Matthew's gospel, we are quickly introduced to what this means. Jesus has come to heal and to make whole. And part of that ministry is to eat with sinners, with those who are not well. Like the woman whose bleeding stopped or the girl raised from her sleep, sinners will be cleansed and restored to life. But they are not yet. So Jesus sits and eats with them to offer a glimpse of the future when their sins will be forgiven and they will gather at the heavenly banquet. And this is where we see the wonder of Jesus' ministry. He lives like us, like Abram generations earlier, of living and thriving in the middle of what can be done now in anticipation of what is still yet to come. Throughout the biblical story of our ancestors and the experience of the church today, this is the tension we have lived in and we continue to live in. Abram journeys through the land of Canaan, but it will not be given to him. Moses leads Israel into freedom and through the desert, but will only glimpse the promised land before dying on the top of the mountain. Each week, At the Lord's Supper, we participate in a foretaste of the feast to come. And as we worship together, each hymn we sing and prayer we raise is a taste of the heavenly worship we will share before the throne of God. In next week's continuation of the story of Abram, we will hear the beginning of God's promises being fulfilled. But for today, we live in that phase of anticipation. Abram was given word of what the Lord will do. Given word of a land that will be given to his ancestors, but not yet. To descendants that will be many, but not yet. He will have a name that will be a blessing to many, but not yet. And yet Abram went as the Lord had told him, left his old life behind into a future that was promised, but not yet. Let us be led to do the same, to live, to welcome, to love, in a way that anticipates that which has been promised, but is not yet fully here. Let us participate in that feast that is yet to come. Amen.